What's up guys, it's Meg and welcome back to Meg After Dark. Today we're talking about the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 4, 100. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was so amazing. It was such a brilliant episode. I am so happy that we not only have Daniel back, but that we got to really see the incredible journey that he's been through since leaving the vineyard. It's been an amazing journey and he is such a survivor that it's just incredible. So I want to get right into this because you know how I like to talk. First off, this episode starts out immediately at the vineyard after Daniel has survived the fire. I have no idea how he did it, but he did it. And he is extremely burned, his leg, like he can barely walk. And I love that this episode, he's near death. His leg is rotting at the beginning of the episode, and he has already fought off barely. I mean, it's just pure luck that he survived. He didn't even fight him off. A walker. So I love the scene where he's walking like a walker, and then there's the actual walker behind him coming, you know, trying to catch up to him. He crawls into the vehicle, and the only reason that he is saved is due to a dog who is more appetizing than he is at this point that lures the walker away. We meet a brand new character, Ephraim, and I love this guy. I really do. I hope that we see more of him, although it looks like the promo for next week's episode is Daniel and Strand moving on away from the dam. So I'm sad because it's always nice to have a new character come in that you really like, and so it would really suck to not see him again because I really liked him, but I'm holding out hope. Maybe we'll see him in the future. But there's this whole episode and Daniel's going through this journey. He was a lost man. He was hearing voices. All of the ghosts of his past were coming back to haunt him, and the guilt of killing, I think his kill count at the beginning of the episode was 96, if I'm correct. He tells Ephraim that. When we saw him, when he was lighting fire in that wine cellar, he was gone, and he felt that he needed to pay for his sins. The guilt and the weight of all of the people that he killed and the past and the horrible things that he'd done in his past are coming back to haunt him. And he really feels that he needs to pay for his sins, like I said before. So we see through this episode he is constantly cheating death. For example, you know, the walker we just talked about, he cheats death when he doesn't die from the rot that was starting in his leg. He cheats death when he prays to Mother Mary, Father of I started to say Mother Mary, Father of God. Mary, Mother of God. Lord help me. I need to find my words today. And the giant walker, I mean, that walker was huge, was struck down by lightning, which was slightly unbelievable, but hey, it was a storm. It was a storm, and he was a tall dude, you know, like he's probably attracting the lightning there. He cheats death again when he is, you know, he gets knocked out from the lightning strike. He doesn't get hit by lightning, but it's such a powerful force. When it hits, he was standing so close to it that it knocked him out, knocked him down. He gets swept away down the drain in the water. I mean, he's literally unconscious in rotting, you know, unconscious, and is pulled out and is alive again. And I think there's another instance, but now I can't remember it. Not sure if I mentioned them all or not. But and it seems like in this episode, as much as he wants to die, is ready to pay for his sins, that there is something, like there's more to his story. There's something that doesn't want him to die yet, like it's not his time, and that's kind of the feeling that you get throughout the episode, that he still has more left to do. I loved the moment between him and Strand. Now Strand, we talked about Strand before, he's a con artist. He will say whatever he can to get what he needs, get what he wants. And so he takes it a little bit too far. You know, he starts out with the truth and he tells Daniel, he's very relieved to see Daniel alive, shocked even, but he tells Daniel, Ophelia's alive. I can take her to you. She's held up in a hotel. And then he goes just like, he's lying about her being held up in a hotel, but he takes it just a little too far and he's like, she's waiting for you. And that strikes Daniel as odd because she doesn't know that Daniel is alive. So why would she be waiting for him? It just sounds like a very unrealistic thing to say unless you were lying. And Daniel, he's an interrogator, like he knows how to pull the truth from people, and he also is very good at telling when people are lying. He can read people very well, so he immediately knows that that Strand is lying, and he is now convinced that Ophelia is actually dead, which was, I'm like, no, like why couldn't Strand just be like, okay, I'm telling the truth, I'm telling a lie, but she is really alive, I just don't know where she is. Like, why couldn't you have just said that? I have a feeling he probably will say that in the next episode, because it looks like in the previews for next week's episode that they actually drive off in Strand's car together. So I don't know how that'll be with those two together. They are not good together, but hopefully he will take Daniel back to where he last saw Ophelia alive. I have a very strong feeling we're gonna actually see Ophelia this next episode. I'm crossing my fingers, but I feel like there's a really good chance. I feel like she is with the, there's a guy that runs into, or Madison's group from the ranch run into this guy, and it looks, and I think the guy tells them like, you need to leave the ranch or something like that. I have to watch the video again, but he was basically like warning them like, I want you to leave the ranch. And I have a feeling Ophelia is with that guy, at least I hope. And that guy is probably responsible for shooting down the helicopter that killed Travis. Okay, moving along. Throughout this episode, we see that Daniel keeps asking for forgiveness from Ephraim. He asks a couple times. He also asks Lola at the very end for forgiveness. And you really like, I mean, just the title of the episode says it all. He starts out with having killed 96 people in the past. That's a huge weight to carry on your shoulders. Probably a lot of those people didn't actually deserve to die. It was part of what he was forced to do back in El Salvador. So, you know, he carries that weight with him. And we know also that he is not a religious person at all. Like, that's not something that he, while his wife was, he has been through so much, seen so much, that he is not religious. And for him to, at that one point in the, you know, he's constantly seeking forgiveness now. And at that one point where he kind of kneels down on the ground, he holds his arms out, you know, when the walker gets struck by lightning, and he says, Mary, Mother of God, you know, it's like his attempt at prayer, and he is saved. And in that moment, and you can see him seeking forgiveness from Ephraim when he tells Ephraim how many people he has killed. And then at the very end, and he seeks the forgiveness again when he feels like he might have to actually kill Ephraim to save Lola and to save the rest of the people where the water was at. He also is asking for forgiveness again. And at the very end, after he kills Dante and the two guards there, he is ready to die at this point, and he hands Lola the gun, and I think he says, forgive me again, and she shows mercy to him. And I think that at that moment, her showing mercy when she could have easily just killed him and been done with it, she saw what he was capable of, and you know, she could have easily done that and been done with him. And instead she shows mercy to him and kind of reaches her hand out to help him up. And I think that's, for him, that is sort of the forgiveness that he's seeking. And he also feels throughout this episode, once the whole time he feels like he potentially killed Ophelia. So that is also a huge weight, despite just the 96 people I've been speaking about. He feels like he potentially killed his own daughter, that she could have burned up in that vineyard when he purposely set fire to the place in his weird state of mind that he was in. And we hear him say, like, he woke up in the fire. So he was not himself when he was doing that. He was you know, he had been hearing voices and all that kind of thing. It was not him. He wasn't like conscious of what he was doing, I think. The crazy had taken over. So he said that he woke up in the flames and came to like realization of what he had done, and oh my gosh, I could have just killed my daughter. And when he talks to Strand and he believes that Ophelia is actually dead, that Strand doesn't know where she is, that is an even heavier weight, knowing that he kept all these secrets from his daughter through her whole life, and then she found out the truth about him, and he was never really given the chance to seek redemption from her either, and now she's potentially dead, thinking that her father is a monster. You know, it's kind of an awful thing to think about. So at this point, the end of the episode, we see Lola offer her hand to him, help him up, and I am hoping that this is now we will be seeing a change in him, that he won't necessarily be seeking redemption anymore, that he is going to speak with Strand and find out that Ophelia was alive, at least after the vineyard, and hopefully he's gonna go find her and be reunited with her. I mean, can you imagine the look on her face when she finds out that he's alive? I just think it's gonna be amazing, I hope. Anyways, that's it for this review. It's a long review, again, as normal. I absolutely adored this episode. I really did. Daniel is my favorite character, especially now that Travis is gone. I really look forward to these scenes with Daniel, and I just think Ruben Blades' acting is phenomenal. Also, I can't remember the guy's name that played Ephraim, but he was excellent as well. I really enjoyed his acting. Everything felt very real. The acting was very well done. And I'm really excited to see these new people in next week's episode. Whoever is this guy or potential group that Madison and the rest of the ranch people are meeting with. So let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comments, and sorry if this review is all over the place. Sorry that it's late. Had a busy week going. I'm going to Walker StarkerCon tomorrow. Super excited about that. And yeah, we'll hopefully have a couple more videos for you in the next few days. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Love you. Goodbye.